Obviously, picked Lukaku to start in this one. Stevie, we've been paying so much attention to Lukaku, the service to him. What can Chelsea do to get more service to him? What did you make of his performance against Brighton?
I think he looked lost. You know, generally when you have your side going forward, when you're coaching them, you have certain little patterns of play that you can go to whenever you're struggling. And they really don't seem to me to have a go-to. You know, Lukaku, on more occasions than not, is just basically standing, watching in the box because he has no idea when it's coming in. You know, you wonder if they've got little focal points where if a ball's played a certain way, right, it has to be played in first. Like Jorginho, for example, used to play balls from the middle of the park without even looking in behind. Things like that, just little things like that can change a game. It doesn't seem Chelsea have that. And it doesn't seem to me as though Lukaku knows whether, if it's Hudson-Odoi on one side or Ziyech on the other, or Pulisic, or basically anybody who's playing on a wide area for Chelsea, it doesn't seem to me that there's any connection or any idea of when the ball's coming in, if it's coming in, and if it is coming in, where does Lukaku want it? There seems to be absolutely nothing. And again, that comes down to coaching.
To the point about service to Lukaku, because this is something that Tuchel actually talked about on Monday, just before the match against Brighton. He had some kind of interesting comments when asked directly about Lukaku. He said, quote, "It's a team sport, not about 10 players serving one player. This is not Chelsea or football. Every player serves one team. This will never change." Shaka, did Chelsea or Tuchel, did you sense that they changed anything today to try to get Lukaku the ball? Because for me, it felt like, man, probably 10 or 15 minutes into the match before he really started to even get a touch.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did anything to play to Lukaku's strengths. And listen, a couple of weeks ago, after the Lukaku interview came out with the Italian press, I was very critical of Tuchel and how he failed to defend Lukaku then. I thought what he said, and we read excerpts there, around defending Lukaku, who's become the face of Chelsea Football Club. I don't have a problem with that at all. But talking about that this is a team that lacked in the attacking sense, and not just because of Lukaku, and it's something that they have to work on. I didn't see that at all in the game today. I didn't feel that anything Chelsea had to offer going forward was around Lukaku's strengths, was to anybody's strengths going forward, in all honesty. And so it amazed me kind of going back to his post-game press conference and about being tired. You know, I find that a really strange excuse to offer, and we've said this time and time again, you offer a team an excuse to lose, they're going to take it. I really find that strange from Tuchel, when his focus needs to be on how he gets the best of the weapons that he has. Because he can call on Havertz, he can call on Werner, who offers something different. Use them later on in the game against Brighton. But just in terms of before they even came on, there was nothing that played to anybody's strengths, whether we're talking Lukaku, Ziyech, or Jorginho.
Do you know what it looks like to me? It looks like...
That's bad man management.
Go on, Stevie.
That's bad man management. You know, regardless of what you think of Lukaku, if you're Tuchel and you're asked that question, the answer is, we are going to try and do everything we can to get Lukaku the ball in dangerous areas so that we can score goals and he can score goals. That's the answer, and that shouldn't be difficult from a manager. You don't turn around and basically custard pie him and say, well, it's not about him, it's about the team and blah, blah. You don't, that's not what you do. That's terrible man management.
It sounds like a manager that doesn't want to change.
If he's that fragile that he's talking about things a couple of weeks ago, then surely you want to help. The only thing you can do is to try and make the thing better so that he scores goals, which benefits him and benefits the rest of the team as well. You don't go just knocking him down again. That's just poor man management.
Is somebody... have they bought a hugely expensive striker that has come as a surprise to Thomas Tuchel, the way that he plays and what his strengths and weaknesses are?
It feels like that, doesn't it?
Is this all of a sudden hit him in the head and gone, oh, maybe he likes some balls into the box?
Do you think he's
Am
just...
I being facetious here? I mean, is that, did he not watch Inter Milan?
Is he
You know,
just mishandling this situation, or is the
Well,
shine kind of off Tuchel, the manager, at this point? And maybe even the manager?
I think he's lost a bit of shine. The mask has slipped a little bit at the moment. The one thing I would say, going back to Lukaku, is, and some of this is down to himself, because when you give interviews, you leave yourself open, particularly in the manner in which he did. But he looks to me in games when he's getting little service. I think he had one real opportunity in the second half, but it was half a chance, and the keeper came out and blocked it from an angle. But he looks to me as every time a header goes wide, or there's a ball played too long, or it's not played into the box, and Chelsea don't get the result, when the camera pans to him, he looks like a man that knows the questions are going to be about him. And the manager has done him no favours off the back of the weekend's poor performance and result at Man City by mentioning him by name, and then tried to backtrack. So the whole thing's a bit of a mess at the moment, stemming from the interview, stemming from, you know, the way I think it was dealt with. And now, on top of that, pretty much the whole team are not playing particularly well, given the fact that there is 2 or 3 of them out of contract as well at the end of the year. It's a difficult situation. It's not dissimilar to Frank Lampard in a sense. Things at this club turn very quickly.
Yeah.
For the
managers especially, yeah.
It turns quickly for the worse at Chelsea. It's amazing that, but it's happening again. Now, as I said earlier, I don't know what the boys think, but he's got enough in the bank at the moment via the Champions League win and others, but at Chelsea, it turns... When it hits the iceberg, the water comes on fast, put it that way. And at the moment, he's going to have to solve that, because if bang average teams get in the top 4 in front of them, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're 9 points to 5th.
I don't expect them to not get in the top 4, but all I'm saying is, if they're overhauled for that, then he's getting a taxi.
We'll leave it there for now as the pressure mounts on Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea. Plenty more on this over on our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. We are now over 1.2 million. Don't miss a single bit of bonus material from the show.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.